was in there for maybe a month. How deep it goes, my finger just disappears. We've just pulled this piece out also, and you can see that my dad's going to start tapping it now. Unfortunately, that little elbow that came up, basically the T-piece that we got was way too long, and that it would have literally had to come out around like that, which then it would have got in the way of belts and etc, etc. In essence, we're back to square one. It is either the ECU or the immobilizer, which, could you believe, I just don't have luck with MX-5s and ECUs. Hello, I don't even know if this is a part 2 or not.
Duh.
Also, I'm sick, so my brain is not focusing whatsoever. But I thought I'd catch you guys up on what has happened. After that last clip of me in the office talking about we think it's the immobilizer, could be a very big problem, etc, etc, we actually phoned Mazda and we asked one of the Mazda techs to come out with an OBD reader. He plugged it in so he could read. On his system, he saw that the car is not reading RPM, and he told us if it was the immobilizer, the car wouldn't even crank. As you guys saw, it cranks, it just won't start. So he said what he thinks is this crank angle sensor, which is a little bit weird, and we don't really understand why. So he suggested perhaps it's technically a new sensor, but some dodgy crap sensor. So, as we can see here, two things. One, new sensor. Well, not a new sensor. This came off a running NB. Thank you, Wayne. So hopefully that helps. And then also I got a new door card because I don't like this.
I don't like this rock.
Anyway, so you guys join me where I'm just about to take off the old crank angle sensor. There's the bolt. And now the sensor should kind of just wiggle out. Yep. Now it's just to cut all the cable ties that I put on. Oh yeah, I think I did show this in the last video. This pipe, I'm not a fan of the way it sits. I'm not a fan of how this sits either. I want to change it. I want to redo it. I want to redo the thing, but a later point. At this point, I kind of just want the car to run. But then once it runs, I can be like, okay, let's actually now neat and tidy it. But yes, anyway. So I'm going to go cut the cable ties and stuff, and I'll catch you guys up. Boop. And okay, hold on, I've got it. It'll probably actually be easier to come out the bottom. Okay, there we go. Lovely. So by the looks of it, so this is the one that was in the car originally. This is now my replacement that came off an MB. If I look at it, firstly, this one looks a little bit longer. As you can see, it's a little bit curled there. So I think it's a little bit longer. Also, how the wire wants to just sit. This one looks like it sits obviously the other way. So I am assuming this might be an aftermarket one. Don't actually know. Maybe off a Etude or something like that, because I know they use the same engine, if I'm right. So also the replacement one came with this thing to bolt it somewhere. I actually don't know where that is supposed to bolt or go, but I have my own little rhythm and stuff that I put it. So yeah, it's just unfortunately I end up using a lot of zip ties, but it is what it is. Anyway, so let me get this one in now. I feel like now is a reasonable time to quickly break and let you guys know that I have some new merch coming out. Wow, on screen now. Unfortunately, they haven't been printed for me just yet, but yes, anyway, moving on. There we go, cool, done. Okay, let's try that again. I'm gonna need two hands, people, so I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do a good job filming this. Okay, well, I have good news. Basically, if I now... So it was the bloody crank angle sensor. No idea, not even a single clue why this one failed, or what was wrong with this one. And then, as you guys saw also, we did test light on it, and we did see that it was sending a pulse and etc, etc. It just might not have been enough, or might have been sending a false reading, who knows. But anyway, the car runs now. Now I just have to let it run in a little bit to make sure that the coolant lines aren't leaking or anything like that. Like, we did tighten all of that, and that's all in the right kind of space. And then I need to change the door card. Unfortunately, I don't have time to do that right now, because I just got to go out quickly. But I will catch you guys up in a little bit when I get around to that. Hello. You joined me the following day because, well, I just stopped recording yesterday. We have a little bit of tidying up to do, and then we need to just drive the car around so that we can make sure that there is no water leaks. In terms of what we are going to do about this fitting and the water line going up and about, this one, I think I did point it out earlier in the video, I'm currently unsure. I may go back to the guy with the fittings and see if I can get a different fitting that's slightly smaller or something like that, so that we can try jumble things around. It's a little bit difficult for me to go take the car and show him because the intake's in the way, and to take it apart there, it's going to be difficult. Whatever, you get my point. So anyway, for right now, I thought let me just deal with fixing the rest of this. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've obviously cut all the cable ties and it's now lying on the floor. I need to re-zip tie all of that back up into the dash, and then I need to put the new door card on. This actually wasn't as bad as what I thought. With all the tape, it actually looked worse. Like, if you just colored that in black, it probably wouldn't even be that bad. But anyway, moving on. New door card in. I gave it a quick little wipe down before I put it in, although it does look a little bit sun damaged compared to that one. So it's a little bit more of a faded grey. Not that stressed about it. I suppose if I really wanted to, I could re-dye these or whatever. It's so minutely immaterial that it doesn't really matter. My dad and I were struggling at one point to get it on. It's because basically this piece is supposed to be glued onto this one, about over here. As you can see, there's even some glue over there. It's supposed to be glued there. Obviously on this one it came off, so this was still plugged into the door, and then when I put the other one on, it just wouldn't go on, and it wasn't clipping on here nicely, and I was very confused. And then when we took it off again, my dad was like, what's this doing here? Anyway, new door card is on, looks nice and pretty, no more crack in it, absolutely awesome. Well, we let it get up to temperature. This fan wasn't coming on, but so this fan comes on all the time, like as soon as you even just key on the car, not even turn it on, this fan comes on. So I don't know how the fans are wired on this car, because I think that's been done afterwards, if that makes sense. So I don't know how the fan situation actually works, but anyway, that pipe that sits basically underneath the headers, if you guys have owned a Miata, you know which one I'm talking about. It did start leaking and dripping pretty bad. I changed out the clamp from one of these ones to like this style one. What we think happened is when I was tightening, I just didn't tighten enough because I was worried it was going to strip. So we tightened it a little bit more and it stopped leaking. So problem solved there. Okay, test drive baby, let's go. Basically what we're doing is, it is already at temperature, but we're gonna just run it and drive it at temperature for a little bit. Just make sure that the fan that wasn't kicking on, well, does kick on, or at very least that it doesn't overheat. If it's not overheating and there's no more leaks, no more problems. As you can see, the temperature is basically as warm as it's gonna get if, you know, everything's right. and that other fan is just not coming on. Now, I'm not driving the car particularly hard. I mean, I'm driving it as I would normally, shifting at like 3,000, 3,500 RPM, and it's just not coming on. So what we've decided to do is, it's fine. I'm just going to double check for leaks. I think the other fan is going to only come on if I'm like pushing it or stuck in traffic or something like that, to obviously prevent it from getting too hot. So yeah. By the way, now seems like a fantastic time for me to bring up the fact that there's some new merch that I'm launching. Guys should check it out and definitely go buy it, because it's cool, and it's got anime girls, and we all love anime girls. I know. Please don't scratch. I know that we do. So should go do that. Yeah. Link in bio. So yeah, there we go. That's kind of all of the problems fixed. The door card, the coolant leak, and the non-starting. So wow, knocked all of that out of the park. Also probably knocked a couple years off my life, but I mean, all's well that ends well, I suppose. If this is going to be the end of the episode, thank you very much for watching. Like I mentioned earlier in the episode, go check out the cool merch, and check out Patreon. Early access to stuff, very cool. Free videos there with no ads, pretty cool. So yeah, until next time then, cheers and goodbye.